Welcome everyone to the next lecture of the course Computer Applications in Power System. We are into the last unit, that is Power System Security and Contingency Analysis. So this is Professor Vishal Mehtre from Department of Electrical Engineering, Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University College of Engineering, Pune. So in the last part of this particular unit, we are going to study about the contingency analysis, various methods, components that are applied in contingency analysis, then the techniques, various techniques, and at the end algorithm how to apply this contingency analysis method to get the desired output. So these are the today's session contents. Firstly, we are going to start with contingency. What is the meaning of word contingency? Then the contingency analysis, how it is executed, then the components related to contingency analysis, categories that are applicable for contingency analysis, then the technique part, that is going to be contingency analysis using sensitivity factor. In that we will be having linear sensitivity factors, that is basically two types: GOSF, that is going to be generation outage sensitivity factor, and line outage sensitivity factor. After that, we are going to also study the algorithm of contingency analysis. After that, whatever doubt you will be having related to this particular lecture or this particular subject, you can post your comment. I will get back to you with a satisfying answer so that you will understand the concept. So the prerequisite for considering this lecture is you should know the various operating states of power system that we have also covered in this particular course. You can refer previous video lectures, that is the various operating state, the normal state, emergency state, and the restorative state. That is going to be helpful to understand this contingency analysis. Then the second part is the state estimation, which we have covered in the previous lecture. uh, Before this particular lecture, I have recorded that lecture. You can observe that video lecture. State estimation is going to be the heart, where it is going to collect the data from the measured devices, and it is used to perform the various analysis like optimal power flow analysis, contingency analysis, and the fault analysis that can be leading to the security of the system. So these two prerequisites are required for this particular lecture. So let us go quickly into contingency. So let us first discuss about this contingency we are talking with respect to the power system security. So power system security is going to be very important because power system security is like we say that the system should be continuously supplying the electricity to the grid with various interconnected grid, and along with that the system should be reliable. So we also focus on the security along with reliability. So the system should be reliable for a continuously supply of power. So contingency, as we know that the power system has to be secured for the with the continuity supply of electric power, that is from the generation to the load side, that is to satisfy the demand without any losses. So that is going to be the ideal condition, without any losses. Practically we will consider less amount of losses, which we usually consider 3% for any transmission network. So whenever the operating variable are out of the specified limits, then the power system is set to go into emergency system. Then we need to perform certain emergency control action to get back the system to normal operation. So these violations of operable variable limit leads to contingency occurring in the system. So this contingency analysis is going to be very important from the security point of view around the power system, so that it should withstand whatever the effect of contingency are there, so that the power system should be redundant, it should be stable, it should not be facing severe problems relate after occurring of this contingency. So though the contingency is going to require more amount of time, why it requires more of amount of time we will see in the subsequent slides. So it is requiring more computation of load flow analysis, that is going to be related to outage of transmission lines, generators, transformers, etc. Now to elaborate this particular point, the last point, I will focus on the load flow analysis. The load flow analysis will give us the result during the steady state condition, but suppose we know that if suppose one generation is out of service, it is having some maintenance problem, it is out. So whether the remaining generators is going to cope up with the demand electricity required? If yes, then how much is the power flowing through all lines, whether they are within the limits or the voltages are getting violated? So that is what is the importance of this contingency analysis that is applicable during the planning stage, to understand whether the system is going to be stable, reliable, and it is not going to collapse and go into blackout. Now, in past history, we have seen various blackouts that have occurred in interconnected power system. So for that, we need to have a reliable operation that requires adequate power generation, and the same can be transmitted reliably to the loads. So there has to be balance between the demand and the distribution that is going to be provided by the generation. So most power systems are designed with a redundancy network, so that they can withstand all the major faults that are occurring in the system. So the major faults should be sustained. That means even if the fault is sustained, there will be some uh, drop in the parameters while like power flow voltage, but it should not be beyond limit, and it should be separated out or isolated from the system. So the possible consequences and remedial action requires two main failure events that can be categorized. One is going to be the line outages and the generation unit failures. So there are various other factors also, like the protective devices not operating on time, they will be preventing the failure. But the major problem that occurs in the power system is related to the line outage and the generating unit failure. So these two things, that is the line and unit outages, are very important to render the line flow or the voltage across the limit. So two things to remember: we consider the main thing, that is line outages and generation unit outages, to monitor the two things, that is going to be the line flow and the voltage of across all the buses within the limits. To find the effect of outages, contingency analysis is employed. Okay, so that is what is the importance of contingency analysis. Whenever there is outage, we can say that it has occurred contingency. So contingency analysis models, we can have the model of single failure event or multiple failure in event, one after the another, until credible outages are considered. Now here credible outages will be related to multiple failure events. If suppose there is one fault, if suppose there is one generator out, two generators out, three generator out, and we know that when fourth generator is coming, the power system is going to collapse. So we will limit ourselves up to only three generator outages. So that is the condition which we talk about, the credible outages. For each outage, all the line and voltages in the network are checked again against their respective limits, if they are within the limits or not within the limits. Yes, okay, if there is this particular contingency occurring in the system, then what preventive action or corrective action has to be implemented so that the system remains redundant, it should not go into blackout stage. Then let us see the next part, that is going to be the components of contingency analysis. So as I've mentioned, we should know the current operating state of power system, which is going to be helpful to decide the new task when it is going to operate for contingency analysis. So based on various operating state, the contingency analysis can be considered. Like suppose if the system is in emergency state, then the inequality constraints are lost. That means there will be some problem in the control variables in the terms of voltage magnitudes or the frequency. This has to be monitored, so that can be considered as the task. So the result of contingency analysis will allow the operator to be operating it very defensive mode. So we have to defend the power system so that it remains strong. So the main components are contingency definition, contingency selection, and contingency evaluation. So let us see one by one. So contingency definition is nothing but like preparing a list of probable contingency with the help of the historic data or the backup data which we are having. So we are going to prepare the list that which problems are most occurring, which generator is going having outages for most of the time. So that will be considered as highest priority, and the other generator which is occurring has occurred less time faults, that will be given the least priority. So that is what is definition. The selection procedure, as I've mentioned, you have to set the priority. Probable contingencies that are going to be preferred, they have to be evaluated at the potential risk of the system. So here we are going to majorly measure the active power flow or the megawatt power flow which is there in the system. So that is why we go for the fast power flow technique, that is DC power flow, where we can avail the facility only of knowing the real power flow in megawatt. We don't require the other parameters, that is the reactive power or any other supporting parameters. So this is implemented to quickly evaluate the risk associated with each contingency. So that is why we go for DC load flow. As we have seen the advantages and disadvantages also, it is going to be helpful from iteration time, or we can say converging of answer. It is going to be much faster as compared to AC load flow. That is why we go for DC load flow, and it is called the faster way of solution of getting the solution for contingency analysis. So finally, the selected contingencies are ranked in the order of the security until no violations of operating limits are observed. Then let us next discuss about the various categories of contingency analysis. So these categories are very important, mainly as I've mentioned that it is decided on the major factors that are occurring in the power system. One is going to be the power outage, and the second thing is going to be related to the loss of generation unit. So these two things are very important for understanding the behavior of the system and to have the security of the system. So let us first discuss about the power outages. So it can have three possible cases. Out of these three possible cases, we can say that it is going to affect the security. First major thing is the loss of generating unit. Second is sudden loss in the load, which may cause stability or oscillation in the system. The network won't be balanced on the generation and load side. And the third is going to be the sudden change of power flow in an inertia. Inertia, that means we can say there is sudden gain in the generation of one area and sudden loss of generation in the other area. So the most serious case from the steady state security is going to be the loss of generation, because it is going to affect at a very large scale. So to overcome this, the real power lost is distributed to a number of regulating generators according to an assigned set of distribution factors. So that distribution factors we will discuss later on. However, if the generation is not available completely, till the time we are having the reserve facility, we can continuously supply for the demand. But in case there is no generation available, then we have to go for load shedding, that is going to be blackout to be performed, and the power system goes into the insecure state. So because of these three possibilities and the serious cases which are going to affect the security, the system may go into insecure state. The second thing is going to be related to the network outages, which we can see here. So there are two possibilities for network outages. One is going to be the outage of transmission line, and second is the outage of transformer. So these two are depending on the thermal limit carrying capacity, because if the thermal limit are exceeding the limits, mostly in transmission network, these two problems are occurring. So the system operator is very interested to know about these network outages, which will lead the system into emergency or restorative state, and thereby saying that the system is going into insecure state. So when the system goes into these two states, we need to take the necessary action to get the system back to the normal state. Now let us see the techniques part for contingency analysis. So there are sensitivity factors which we have seen for generation and line outages in unit number 5, that is optimal power flow analysis. So we are not going into detail much about sensitivity factors. You can refer previous videos for observing what are sensitivity factors. Only I'm going to restrict myself for the sensitivity factors related to contingency analysis. So sensitivity factors, as we can say that because of slight change in the system behavior, the power flow is changing continuously. Like for example, if suppose there is sudden loss in the generation, or load is being removed, or there is some problem in the transmission line or transformer, the power flow is going to suddenly change. So that is what it is called as the sensitivity factor. So it is one of the easiest calculation and very quick calculation for possible overloads. So these factors show change in the generation of the network and are derived from the AC and from DC load flow. So the system security assessment can be considered or can be calculated using the pre-contingency and the post-contingency. How can you compare the system, whether the system is stable or not? So we have to do one thing: when the system is in normal condition, we have to do the analysis, and second is going to be when the contingency has occurred, we have to do the second analysis. So pre-contingency is going to be the state of the power system before the contingency has occurred. That is going to be the normal operation of the power system normal load flow studies that we can go with AC or DC load flow. And post contingency is suppose the state of the power system after contingency has occurred. So the contingency can be of various combination. It can be one generator or two generator, multiple generators, and transmission line, combination of any of these two. So in this case, it is assumed that the type of contingency has security violations. That security violation can be related to line or transformer that are beyond the flow limits, and the bus or the bus voltage is within the limit. So these two are the probable conditions that we can consider for post contingency. So whatever is the difference we observe in pre contingency and post contingency, that will be the final result. Now the next part we are going to study in the technique is going to be the linear sensitivity factor. So analyzing such large number of contingency, as I've mentioned, that we can consider multiple number of generators, multiple number of transmission line where more number of transmission lines are there, or a combination of generator and transmission line. So it creates a lot of probabilities, and to these lot of probabilities will have n number of contingencies, and to execute that it becomes a very difficult task. So in this case we can segregate it into two parts, so that it becomes easy for us for the computation from the computation point of view. That is, one is going to be the linear outage factors. So that there are two types of linear sensitivity factors for line flow violations. Mainly we are focusing on line flow violations only, so that is going to be generation outage sensitivity factors, and the second one is going to be the line outage sensitivity factors, LOSF, GOSF and LOSF. So generation outage sensitivity factor is going to calculate the effect of change in the generation line. So we can see this L suffix L is related to line, I is related to the generator at ith bus. So this numerator delta FL is going to be the power flowing through the lines, and this is going to be the power flow or the change in the generation at the ith bus. So this is going to be the linearization factor, which we can implement it for calculating the new value of the line flow, so that we can have the comparison between two values and we can check the contingency result of the system. So where ALI is going to be the linear generation shift factor for the Lth line for a change in output of ith generator. So because of change in the ith generator, how the power flow is going to change on Lth line. And delta FL is the megawatt change, that is the active power change in the power flow of the Lth line. Delta PI is the change in generation at the ith bus. So here we are assuming the change in generation at the ith bus is picked up by the reference bus. So we consider the slack bus here for the reference. So the new values of power flow we can calculate with the old value and considering this particular factor ALI and delta PI. So new value will be considered from old value plus ALI delta PI for all L values, which is going to be 1, 2, 3 up to capital L, where this value represent the number of transmission lines in the system. So if we consider the old value of the power input or the power flow which is at the ith bus, that is the output of the generator of the ith generator before the fault, we can go with this equation also. So this equation is applicable for the change in power generation, which we go for positive sign. If we are considering the old value, we have to go for negative sign. Again, it is applicable for all the values. Note down this change is there because delta PI is going to be minus PI of old. That is why we can go with either positive equation or negative equation, depend on the calculation point of view. So once the new values of the power flows are computed for all the lines, that is from 1, 2, 3 up to capital L, they are compared with the corresponding line flow limits, and then the operator can give an alarm that in case of any violation is there. That means it is going into alert state or it is going into some emergency state. So in practical power system, due to governor action, the loss of generation at bus I may be compensated by generations throughout the system. Suppose there is one generator there is problem due to this governor action, it may not be possible for that generator to supply the power which is required by the load. So other generators should be distributed in such a way that whatever is the demand will be satisfied by using the reserve capacity. So a frequently used method is assumed. So this is going to be the helpful method, that how to overcome this loss of generation is the distribution. distributed among participating generators in proportion to their megawatt rating. So how much is the capacity of generating electricity? Depending on that, whatever is the generation load is distributed along with their maximum megawatt rating, so that the demand is satisfied. This is how we can overcome the generation outage sensitivity factor. Then the next important thing is the line outage sensitivity factor. It is also called as line outage distribution factors. These are used on quick check line cases for overloading of the transmission line, and that can be defined as this. D is going to be the distribution factor, dl, again L is going to be related to the transmission line, and K is the outage of that particular line. So here note down, this I is related to the generator and this K is related to the transmission line. So delta LK is the line distribution factor for line L after an outage of line K. Delta FL is the change in power flow megawatt in line due to the outage of line K. So note down their numerator on the GOSF and LOSF is same. Only thing here we are considering it with reference to the outage of line K, and here we are considering it with reference to the generation output or outage of the generation I. So that is what is the difference between the GOSF and LOSF. So Fk old is the flow of line in K before the outage. So the new value can be calculated again by using this equation. So this equation is similar to the GOSF, only thing the distribution factor is changing multiplied by the old value. So let us go to the last part, that is going to be the algorithm for contingency analysis. So contingency analysis, as we have seen, we can start with the iteration, obtain existing system formation information from state estimation, whatever the values which we are getting the data for from the measuring devices, that is SCADA system or any conventional measurement devices that is collected at the state estimation. Then from that we can have the possibility list of contingencies. We can give the list of the possible contingencies according to the priorities, as we have discussed few slides back. Then we are going to set the iteration count equal to 1 for both number of lines and number of selected contingencies. Then we can have the normal load flow studies, and then we can compare the new load flow values of the generator or line outages depending on which condition we are going. And then whatever is the new load flow we are obtaining, we have to check whether it is between minimum and maximum value. If yes, it is no problem. If it is not satisfying, display the warning and then go. And then we have to go with number of all the lines that are present in the transmission system one by one. If all the conditions are obtained for new power flow are within limits, you go for next step. If it is not, then you set increment of 1 in the next iteration, go back and repeat the procedure. And then again, for number of the contingencies, if all conditions are satisfied and well within the limits, you end the algorithm. If no, have the increment value of the next contingency and go again with the same procedure. So this is how is the algorithm of contingency analysis. So this algorithm is easy to calculate and evaluate the effect of removing an element from the system. If suppose due to certain problem the element is removed, then we can have the impact, how the impact is created in the system. Then the network model is useful. This model is useful if and only if it is closest to the real network system. If it is only for the real network system, then only we can have. If we are doing just for the analysis point of view, this won't help. So this is going to be beneficial from the planning point of view. So the network model is designed using less number of buses and electrical components, but not enough for to produce precision based results. So if we have less number of buses, less components, that is not going to give the best result for the existing system. So certain set of parameters and equation comprise of the network model, which are met only by the starting values of the real network. So these values are proceeded on for algorithm and comprise of the bus voltage, production by the generation, power interchange between the appliances, etc. So these values are taken from the SCADA database and are made available from the control center. So CA is applied to the initialized power network, that we have to start with the normal power flow solution, and is checked with the contingencies again against a list of comprising all the elements. Each element is first removed and then the system is analyzed and for solution due to its removal. So after each element is checked, the test results are evaluated and evaluated against the limits in the system for each limit. If the violation appears in both the values, it is noted and saved in the CA database. So that means when we are going for the new operating state of system, we can have this database and continue with the contingency analysis. So the contingency list has been designed for the well qualified engineers responsible for planning and operation, so that the power system should be much secure and reliable for the key sensitive areas. The contingencies are checked up for varying operating states and the loading level of the system and require huge computer resources. That is why we go for DC power flow solution per contingency, which will require more amount of computer data. In case of detection of very serious issues, for contingency is checked by doing complete AC load flow. If there is some time restriction, to check the element for contingencies to have it to perform it within less time, that is in few seconds to complete, we go with DC load flow analysis because it is quite simpler to do the analysis and execution time is less and convergence is more, and it decreases the execution time for CA analysis per contingency. So this is going to be very helpful for from the power system security point of view. That is the reason why we go for contingency analysis, and it indirectly helps the power system security to be in the redundant condition. So that's it for this particular lecture. The topics that we have covered is related to the power system security and contingency analysis. Apart from this, whatever the doubts you are having, you can post your doubts. I will get back to you. This is the last video lecture I'm uploading on the YouTube related to this course, Computer Applications in Power System. We will meet soon for some other course. Thank you.